CS2's market cap recently shattered its previous all-time high, and it's not showing any signs of slowing down. But as I've been digging through the data and reading through social media, something feels off about this growth. A suspicious amount of what looks like classic pump and dump schemes. The sheer volume of pump and dump schemes that are happening across the market has everyone taking notice. And there's one big open question. Can this growth be sustained, or are we in a bubble? Welcome to this week's market report. Before we begin, a vast majority of my viewers are not subscribed. If you could take a minute to hit that red subscribe button below, it truly helps me out and helps my channel grow. Alright, so let's get the obvious out of the way first. The market is absolutely printing right now. Looking across the board, almost every category is up significantly. Agents and stickers are leading the charge with insane price jumps, nearly 30% apiece. But it's not just the flashy stuff. Core categories like pistols, rifles, gloves, and even knives are seeing healthy movement in both price and demand. Now, let's talk about the elephant in the room. The patches. Looking at this macro trend, the demand for patches is up nearly 80% this past week. And I don't think this is just a side effect of the agent pump, rather it's due to the Stockholm sticker pump. If we look at a lot of the patches that are pumping this week, it's going to be primarily related to the Stockholm 2021 patches pack. So it's going to be a bit unrelated to the recent hype in agent prices. But if you're holding some of these patches in one of your storage units, now might be the time to sell. But here's the main storyline for this past week, pump and dumps. And I want to categorize these into two separate types. One, there's an EG Stockholm sticker pump and dump, where we see absolutely insane price growth over the course of a month or two, and then we see this price movement fisher out into some of the other skins within that capsule, such as the Renegade's Hollow. I think these are short-term spikes and they will eventually decline, but for now there seems to be no stop to how expensive these stickers will become. But the main storyline, and what I want to spend most of the video on, is the rise of higher tier skins that frankly have all the hallmarks of a pump and dump scheme, but might actually not be, and it could be a sign of sustained growth in the CS2 economy. Skins like the Blue Phosphor and Hot Rod have always been interesting to me because they are just simple one color skins. They're basically just copy paste of each other with different colors. And the demand for these types of skins doesn't feel organic. It doesn't feel like players are saying, oh, I suddenly need this for my blue loadout or my red loadout. Rather, I feel like it's just a safe place to park your money if you were going to invest in the CS2 market. And it goes beyond just these two skins. Let's just look at the top performing collections this week. The Norse, Rising Sun, and Chop Shop collections are absolutely packed with high-tier, expensive skins. One of the oldest CS2 investment strategies has been to buy into a discontinued collection and hold those skins. And that's what this seems like a byproduct of. And this brings me to my big tinfoil hat theory for this week. A recent Reuters report indicated that the Chinese financial market is cooling off. And I think it is a possibility. Some people might invest a very small portion of their portfolio outside of the traditional stocks and look into some alternative assets. And while it's a long shot, you have to wonder, could the composition of the alternative assets include some CS2 market skins? I think for me, it's just been so odd to see the entire high tier market rise together, regardless of if you're looking at the Steam market, Buff, CS Float, Skinport. On every site, the prices are rising, which feels like a much more coordinated series of buys than a bunch of regular CS2 gamers buying skins they like. I just don't think we'd see this amount of uniformity. I think the trend is going to continue and the high tier market is going to remain strong. Okay, that's enough of the speculation. Let's dive into some of the hard data to look at some skins that caught my attention. First up, some items you should look into selling if you've been holding them or if they're in your inventory. The Slingshot Phoenix agent is up nearly 56%. Not far behind the Phoenix is the B Squadron Officer, up 54%. Now could be a great time to take some profit. Next, an item that's a byproduct of the Evil Geniuses sticker capsule hype, the Stockholm 2021 Legends capsule. It's up nearly 31% in the past last month. But the key here is that people are trying to dump these capsules at higher prices. Take a look at the supply and demand graph, and I don't think this price is going to hold for much longer. A surprising entry is going to be the revolver case. It is a cheaper case, but its chance to profit on unbox and its unboxing ROI are at all-time highs. We'll check back in next week on my prediction. So to wrap it all up, the market is hot, but it feels artificial. It seems to be driven by high-tier investment style pumps, which makes the whole thing kind of feel like a bit of a meme coin. The big question that remains is this sustainable? I think high-tier growth will probably remain, given it feels like there's some new money coming into the game. But remember, in a pump and dump, there's always someone who gets left with the bag. So be smart out there, do your own research. What do you guys think is next? Is this the new normal, where every skin costs an arm and a leg to buy? Or are we headed for a crash? Let me know in the comments. And as always, thanks for watching.